بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, we completed our reflections on Surah Ar-Rahman, and since tonight is the night of Arbaeen, we are going to have some reflections on Ziyarat, which is recommended for Arbaeen. And this Ziyarat is reported by the late Sheikh al-Tusi, Rizwanullah ta'ala alayh, in both Tahdhib and al-Misbah, Misbah al-Mutahajjid. So this Ziyarat that Safwan al-Jammal says, I told Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, my master Imam Sadiq, about Ziyarat Arbaeen. Imam said, after sun rises, so sometime past after sunrise, considerable part of day started, read this: Assalamu ala waliyallahi wa habibih, Assalamu ala khalilallahi wa najibih. So this is the Ziyarat. If we want to analyze this Ziyarat, we can benefit from some of the scholarly work on this Ziyarat, which divides the contents of this Ziyarat into several parts. Of course, there are different ways to analyze the contents. This is one way, and it's based on passage by passage. The first part, as you will see, and I already mentioned some of it, is salam. But these salams come with some descriptions of Imam Husayn alayhi salam. Some of them are general. For example, Assalamu ala waliyullah. All the Imams are wali of Allah. Wa habibihi. This is also general. Assalamu ala khalilillahi wa najiyihi. General. Assalamu ala safiyillahi wa ibn safiyihi. This is also general. But then Assalamu ala al-Husayn al-Madhlum al-Shahid. This is particular. Or Assalamu ala Asir al-Kurubat wa Qatil al-Abarat. Imam Hussein himself is quoted as saying, Ana Qatil al-Abarah. I am the martyr of tears. What does it mean, the martyr of tears? It can be interpreted in different ways, but perhaps it means that there is a connection between my martyrdom and people remembering me and mourning for me and shedding tears. So we needed, for different reasons, to mourn, to shed tears. And Imam Hussein was the one who was chosen to endure greatest calamity, so that through mourning for him we can be revived, we can be purified, we can be uplifted, we can be united, we can be helping for Imam Mahdi. Qatilul Abarat. So, these are some of the things that we have at the beginning when we send salam. Then the next phase starts. Allahumma inni ashhadu annahu waliyuka wa ibnu waliyik wa safiyyuka wa ibnu safiyyik al-faizu bi karamatik akramtahu bish-shahada wa habawtahu bis-sa'adah واجتبيته بطيب الولادة وجعلته سيدا من السادة وقائدا من القادة وزائدا من الزادة وأعطيته مواريث الأنبياء, and continues. In the second part, after sending salams to Imam Husayn, now Imam Sadiq alayhi salam turning his attention to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the things that you find in Ziyarat is that we sometimes in the middle of Ziyarah we turn to Allah and then we turn back to the person that we are doing Ziyarah. Even in Ziyarah of Lady Ma'suma we have this. For example, we are sending salams to the prophets, to the Lady Fatima, Lady Khadija, Amirul Mu'minin, etc. Then we send salam to Lady Fatima. We talk to Lady Fatima, Ya Fatima tushfa'idi fil Jannah. But also we talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahumma astajib lana wa taqabbalhu bi karamika wa izzatik. So this is very beautiful. So these personalities don't distract us from Allah. When we are talking to them, we feel very close to Allah. So we can then shift to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then through Allah, we come back to them and talk to them. So the servants of Allah who are awliyaullah have this ability that they connect us to Allah. These are da'i ilallah bi'idhnihi, of course above all the Prophet ﷺ, and then his household. So Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, after sending some salams to the personality which is Imam Hussein alayhi salam, then he bears witness to Allah. Allahumma inni ashhad. O Allah, you be witness that I offer my testimony that Imam Hussein is your wali and the son of your wali, chosen by you, the son of someone who was chosen by you, who has achieved your karam, your honor. And in particular, akramtahu bish-shahada. You honored him with martyrdom. It's a great honor to be someone who is able to give his life for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially with the way that Allah designed this for Imam Hussein. As you know, Imam Hussein himself had the dream of Rasulullah, Inna Allah sha'a an yaraka qatila. Inna Allah sha'a an yarahunna sabaya. Wa habawtahu bis-sa'ada. You have granted him felicity, and referring to his pure birth and being granted the legacy of the prophets, and also the fact that Imam Hussein alayhi salam فَأَعْذَرَ فِي الدُّعَاء وَمَنَحَ النُّصْحِ. In dua, perhaps dua here means calling people towards God, not prayer. In calling people towards God and in giving nasiha, wishing the best people and giving them advice, he didn't reserve any energy. He didn't fall short. He did his best in calling people towards Allah. This is what we expect from Hujjah of Allah, from someone who inherits from the prophets to do their best to guide people towards Allah and show them the path. So this is the second part of Ziyarat Arbaeen. The third part starts with this phrase, وَبَذَلَ مُهُجَّتَهُ فِيكَ. This is about aims of the movement of Imam Hussein, or uprising of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Why he stood against giving bay'ah to Yazid, etc. بَذَلَ مُهُجَّتَهُ فِيكَ. We can look at it from distance or from close. From close we say, okay, he refused to give bay'ah to Yazid, he didn't want to be part and parcel of that unjust system, etc. But if we look at it from distance and from a higher vision, we can say he gave his blood in order to save your servants from ignorance and confusion of misguidance, jahl and hayrat al-dhalala. This is indeed aim of all the prophets and messengers, and Imam Hussein was a warith for all of them. He gave his blood, he gave his life for saving people from jahala wa hayrat, because although they were Muslims, but we know that Sunni and Shia have narrated that if someone doesn't know Imam of his time, man mata wa lam ya'rif Imam zamaneh mata mitat al-jahiliyah. We have given different references and versions of this in the book Lessons on Imam and Wilayah. So if you are Muslim but you don't understand whether your leader should be Yazid or someone else, you are confused between Imam Hussein and Yazid. This is jahala. So you are not better than someone who lived before Islam. If for you Yazid is the same as Imam Hussein, na'uzubillah, or God forbid even better. This is confusion. To say the minimum, it's confusion and ignorance. We are not talking about the people who were themselves vicious and on the side of Yazid. So Imam wanted to save people from different kinds of ignorance. This must be accumulated ignorance and confusion that then appears in recognizing Yazid as a successor to the Prophet. So much of ignorance and confusion must have been accumulated that can lead to such result. It's not something only about Yazid. Over years, this must have increased and then reached this point. Otherwise, you will be shocked. How can someone recognize Yazid as Khalifa? How can someone then accuse Imam Hussein of rebelling against Khalifa and khuruj and against Khalifa? Then the fourth section of Ziyarat Arbaeen is about killers of Imam Hussein and those who associated with the killing of Imam Hussein, starting with وَقَدْ تَوَازَرَ عَلَيْهِ مَنْ غَرَّتْهُ الدُّنْيَا وَبَاعَ حَظَّهُ بِالْأَرْذَلِ الْأَدْنَى وَشَرَى آخِرَتَهُ بِالثَّمَنِ الْأَوْكَسِ وتغطرس وتردى في هواه وأسخطك وأسخط نبيك وأطاع من عبادك أهل الشقاق والنفاق وحملة الأوزار المستوجبين النار فجاهدهم فيك صابرا محتسبا حتى سفك في طاعتك دمه واستبيح حرمه. So in this part we mention why some people collaborated, tawazara, they collaborated, they helped, they cooperated for killing of Imam Hussein. You can say different things, but again the root is they were deceived by dunya. حب الدنيا رأس كل خطيئة. They either money or power or fame, these are all different branches of حب الدنيا, led them to killing Imam Hussein alayhi salam. People who sold their akhirah for very small cost to get something from dunya. Whole dunya is mata'un qalil. People who followed their hawa, their lower desires, and therefore they made Allah angry with them, they made Rasulullah angry with them. People who obeyed those servants of you who are ahlul shiqaq wa nifaq, people who were divisive and hypocrite. They followed them, they obeyed bad people. People who have carried burdens of sins, so much sins that would make them entitled for punishment, for fire. But Imam Hussein alayhi salam didn't allow this collaboration and this coordinated attempt against him to take away his courage. فَجَاوَدَهُمْ فِيكَ. He didn't just wait to be killed by them, or he didn't for example panic and said okay, I cannot do anything. فَجَاوَدَهُمْ فِيكَ. He was in control of his decisions and his actions. He did jihad. He was actively defending justice and truth. No matter his army was much smaller, not comparable to the army of the other side, but still he led this jihad as if there is equality between two sides. You don't see any sign of weakness, any sign of saying, okay, let's be now reactionary, passive, see what happens. Even if there was a chance of militantly winning, you could not do much better organization and much better preparation and much better presentation and leadership than what Imam Hussein did. He did it perfectly. فَجَاهَدَهُمْ فِيكَ صَابِرًا مُحْتَسِبًا. Patient, persistent. Sabr many times in the Quran is used when Allah refers to jihad, not someone who is just sitting somewhere doing nothing. Someone who is persistent, not only patient. Muhtasiban, and counting all this for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, something as a service to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, till his blood was shed for your obedience. So he gave for your obedience his blood. But it didn't stop with him. وَاسْتُبِيهَا حَرِيمُهُ. They also disregarded the respect of his harim, his family, and whatever belonged to him, whomsoever belonged to him. So this is the fourth passage or section. The fifth is what now we can get from Imam Hussein as lessons. Ashhadu annaka aminullah wa ibnu amin. Now again we talk to Imam Hussein. I bear witness that you are trusted, a trustee of Allah, and the son of Aminullah. Ishta sa'idan wa madayta hamidan wa mitta faqidan madluman shahida. This is what we should always, all of us try. When you leave sa'idan, to have a life with sa'ada, with felicity, free from impurities. When you depart, it should be in the way which is praised, مَضَيْتَ حَمِيدًا. So you end your life with sa'ada and praiseworthiness. And when you die, you should be faqid, and you should be someone that people feel the loss. If I die and people feel nothing has happened, means I didn't have good life. People who had good life are the people that when they die, people feel something is faqid, something is missing. There is loss in true sense. But you can die just naturally. But Imam Husayn died, and this loss was imposed on Ummah out of injustice, mazluman. He didn't die naturally. He lived under zulm, and the zulm reached the level of taking away his life unjustly. Mazluman shahidan. So faqidan is one thing. There can be different ways. His way was with mazlumiyah, and mazlumiyah reached shahada, martyrdom. Faqidan mazluman shahida. Wa ashhadu anna Allah munjizun ma wa'adak. Allah is going to fulfill his promise to you, and Allah is going to destroy those who left, abandoned you, and punish those who have killed you. I bear witness that أنك وفيت بعهد الله وجاهدت في سبيله حتى أتاك اليقين. You were loyal to your promise, to the covenant with Allah, and struggled in his way till you received certainty, till end of your life. And there are many lessons we can take from Imam Husayn alayhi salam, and the way that in this ziyarah he is described. What for sure the main thing is tawheed, ibadah, servitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, having no ego, having no interest therefore for dunya, being submissive to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, being persistent, being dignified and honorable, not being afraid of death or martyrdom. These are some of the things that we can learn. Then in the sixth part of ziyarah, we renew our allegiance to Imam Husayn alayhi salam. Allahumma inni ushhiduka, O Allah, I ask you to be witness, anni waliyun liman wala. I want to renew my wilayah. I am wali of whomsoever has wilayah of Imam Husayn. This is also related to social wilayah. Not anni waliyun lahu. I am wali for Husayn. I am wali of whoever has his wilayah. Aduwwun liman ada. And whoever has his enmity, I am their enemy. Bi'abi anta wa ummi yabna Rasulullah. O son of the Prophet, with everything that I have, I am happy to be your ransom. This is the power of love, although at this time we are not able to offer our life to Imam Husayn or life of our dear ones. The seventh phase of the ziyarah is something about the nobility of the family, the ancestors of fathers and mothers of Imam Husayn alayhi salam. أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الأصلاب الشامخة والأرحام المطهرة. about his fathers, his mothers, that they don't come from a mixed background of people who were good or bad, people who were guided or misguided. No, لم تنجسك الجاهلية بأنجاسها. Ignorance never affected you, not directly, even through your ancestors, through your fathers, grandfathers, mothers, grandmothers. No way that Jahiliyyah has affected your lineage. وأشهد أنك من دعائم الدين وأركان المسلمين ومعقل المؤمنين. So I bear witness that you are one of those pillars of faith, like your fathers